Welcome back. After beating the Mr. Beast bot, which was wild and erratic, I went back to the 1200 bots that I had been intending to play through. And the next one I found was the Ludwig bot with the United States flag. My first 10 games against this bot did not go that well. I lost 5 of them, and I decided to just throw those 10 games away and start over. So I did, and then I went 9-1 in my next set of 10 games, which was pretty much my goal, was to dominate a series of 10 games, either 8 in a row or 9-1, something like that, just to get the bot out of the way. And I think in this case, as with most of the other bots, it just came down to being careful, not making huge blunders. Once again, I let the computer choose which color each of us would play. So I got white 6 times and black 4 times. Against E4, I played the Scandinavian. And against D4, I'm trying the Nimzo Indian defense. Still working on that. And I think that's the game in which I played black that I will show here in a minute. As white, I opened with D4 most of the time, but one time I tried the hippopotamus defense, which is, it's kind of not that great, but the computer calls it the Nimzo Witch Larson attack. That last one listed. I've been keeping track of the number of moves that it takes to defeat or lose against these bots, mainly because I noticed early on I was having an advantage but not converting it quickly, just kind of fiddling around on the board. So I made it one of my goals to bring that average down, which I was doing for the first 3 bots, but since then the average has gone back up a little bit. Our longest game against Ludwig was 80 moves, and the shortest was 30, which is one of the games I'm going to show you. And we averaged about 54 moves per game, which really isn't bad considering that the bots don't resign. They make you checkmate them. And so when somebody says, I wanted 20 moves, often that's because the other player resigned. But bots don't resign on this website. So, and I've been keeping track of the blunders. I did the worst blunder-wise against Ludwig. 1.6 blunders per game, which was even worse than how many times I blundered against Tomas, and even worse than I did against Mr. Beast. Ludwig did pretty bad as well, and not too much worse than me, but I feel like I'm bumping my head into that graphic. Ow. I'm kidding, of course. It's just on the screen. It's not actually here in my room. But I'm going to open the board here if I can. There we go. This is a game in which I was doing well for a little while, but then once I blundered, it was over fast. I'm going to turn on that switch there just to show you what the computer says the advantage is. I opened with the London defense, or the London system, I should say, and doing pretty well. Usually the computer suggests just taking that bishop. I like to drop it back just in case if they capture, I can recapture with this pawn and it opens this file for my rook. Doesn't always happen, but anyway, we went on. As you can see from the evaluation here, the suggested moves were pretty close. It says I will have the advantage if I do c4, but I didn't. And so it's pretty much a dead even game at this point. And then I began, when I played c4, then it says, now I have a much better advantage. Okay, there it took that bishop, and I took with the h-pawn as I had predicted, which gives me a pretty good line of sight against this against this castled king. And so if I'm ever able to get this bishop out or this queen out and aim at that spot, I've had pretty good success with this plan, which is why I moved that bishop back here. But anyway, I've got about a 1-point advantage, and I'm not sure why I did that. But anyway, so I maintain the advantage, get that bishop lined up that I was talking about to come down here. Here I'm trying to prevent this pawn from coming down, but the computer didn't like that move at all. Regardless, I get the advantage back here by taking that pawn. And another one, because I didn't even notice I was down there taking pawns. And let's see, where do I massively fail here? I think it's around move 20 when we're on 17 here. But I'm up by 6 points according to the evaluation. 7 points now. It's making up its mind. Okay. I'm not doing perfectly because, I mean, obviously the bot has control over this file, but I am able to challenge the queen. My king is still relatively safe. They got a check-in. But I am about to lose the advantage, and it comes on move 22, I think. Let's see, there's 21. I lost a bit of the advantage there. And then here, I should have done this. I should have brought my rook up to a4. I guess with the idea of connecting the two rooks through the knight. Or maybe even bringing one of them here. I think that would maybe was the idea. Whoops. Once I get this rook up here, then to bring the other one here somehow. But instead, I blocked off this rook from the action, and that was counted as a blunder if I'm not mistaken. Then when the knight went in there, it says here to not take back, I should take the rook. But I blundered again and lost a huge advantage. So yeah, because the queen was, my queen, before I moved it, was guarding this rook. So I'm not even in check here, right? So yeah, it says I should just go ahead and take this rook. But I didn't. I took the knight, and I lost the rook. And then from there, it was a fairly quick matter to to take me out. I had a couple of chances at attacking this back here, but the bot was able to put a stop to that pretty quick. Yeah, that's checkmate. So, did not do well in that game. I completely misunderstood the attacking situation of the bot. This game is much longer, but it's a game in which I had no mistakes and no blunders. So, the best game that I played the whole time. And this is the one in which I played the Nimzo Indian, which I am working on. And I believe, yeah, we followed book moves out to... We're still on book moves. Okay. And the bot, as most of them usually do, if you don't blunder or make a mistake fairly early, then they will. And yet the idea is to just to capitalize on that. And here, the bot makes a mistake on move 8. Now, I wasn't sure exactly how to capitalize on that. The computer suggests coming up here to guard the knight. That would have been great, I guess. I instead brought the knight back. But that wasn't as bad a move as the computer's mistake. And then it continues to make inaccuracies or not best moves until it's ready for its next mistake. And as long as I don't make a mistake or a blunder, it will eventually make one of its own. And that came, well, there it is. It just didn't take this bishop. And so now I'm up, as you can see, -7, which is pretty good. So it just took a while to carefully position the pieces and clear off the board. Because at this point, I'm a full piece ahead, and a piece and a pawn. And it was I was able to finish it off. I'm not going to take you all the way through that. Although I will skip ahead to the end because I ended up getting another queen, which I don't often do. And then I decided I'm just going to go ahead and get another queen. So I did that. And then it was fairly easy to checkmate this king there. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to move on to the next bot pretty soon, which, if I am not mistaken, is the Jade bot 1300. All right, stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.